Welcome back to the channel Liberty Coin Value. We dive deep into a truly astonishing story, one that numismatics experts, coin collectors, and even casual hobbyists find fascinating and unbelievable. The story of the 1951 wheat penny from the United States, a coin with a face value of just 1 cent. But a staggering and mind-boggling potential market worth of $70.3 million due to a perfect storm of rare errors, unique minting mistakes, and highly valuable anomalies that have placed this simple copper coin in the elite league of the world's most valuable rare coins. And as we unfold the full tale behind its creation, its errors, the events at the San Francisco Mint, and the possibilities that make this coin command such an extraordinary valuation, make sure to listen closely because this could very well change the way you look at small change forever. The 1951 wheat penny, at first glance, appears to be an unassuming copper coin featuring Abraham Lincoln on the obverse part of the Lincoln cent series that began in 1909, and on the reverse, it has the classic wheat stalks design which gives the coin its wheat penny nickname. Yet behind this modest design lies a treasure trove of minting oddities and errors that have made certain examples from this year and mint location incredibly rare and sought after. It all begins with the production process at the San Francisco Mint in 1951. A period marked by heavy coin demand, rapid production schedules, and pressure to churn out millions of coins efficiently. And during such high-stress operations, even the tiniest misalignment, metal impurity, die crack, or planchet error could create something that deviates from the norm. These deviations, when they survive circulation in good condition, become the holy grails for collectors, and in the case of the 1951 wheat penny, there have been documented cases and strong rumors among the collector community of coins that bear combinations of these rare anomalies, creating an explosive increase in both rarity and market value. Let's explore the kind of mint errors that have driven the value of some 1951 pennies to such astronomical figures. The first category involves double die obverse errors, where the coin was struck twice on the obverse side in slightly misaligned positions, leading to visible doubling on Lincoln's features. Especially noticeable in areas such as the motto, "In God We Trust," the word "Liberty," and the date 1951. This doubling, when pronounced and accompanied by other features, significantly raises collector interest. But the story doesn't stop there. Another critical factor that has led to skyrocketing valuations is the presence of repunched mint marks, commonly referred to as RPMs, which occur when the mint mark for San Francisco was punched more than once into the die, and not perfectly aligned during each punch, resulting in a visible shadow or offset appearance of the mint mark that is distinguishable under magnification. These RPMs vary in severity, and coins with particularly dramatic examples are valued higher due to their visual prominence and rarity. Combining double die features and RPMs on the same coin has created examples so rare that only a handful are thought to exist, making them virtual unicorns in the numismatic world. Another major contributing factor to extreme valuation is off-center strikes, coins that are misaligned during the strike process and come out with part of the design missing or shifted, especially when the date and mint mark remain fully visible, are highly sought after. And if such an off-center coin also includes the double die or RPM error, then the value becomes exponential. But let's not forget about die cracks and die breaks, small flaws in the dies used to strike coins which manifest as raised lines or lumps of metal on the coin's surface. These are less glamorous errors, but when present in an otherwise high-grade or rare error 1951 penny, they add to the story and uniqueness of that individual specimen, adding to its value like a signature flaw that no other coin possesses. Another interesting anomaly linked with the 1951 wheat penny is the wrong planchet error, which means a penny was mistakenly struck on a planchet intended for a different denomination, like a dime or foreign coin, and in such cases, the size, weight, or metal composition would be incorrect. These are almost always caught by mint staff, but extremely rarely. A few may escape into circulation, and when authenticated, they can command huge sums at auctions due to their extreme rarity and shock value in the collector world. The metal composition also plays a subtle but potentially huge role in valuation. In 1951, Lincoln cents were made primarily of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. But variations in alloy mixing or the accidental use of older or incorrect planchets have reportedly led to some 1951 pennies with slightly different coloration, weight, or magnetic properties, and these variations, if confirmed to be genuine mint errors, would again fuel massive value appreciation, Now imagine finding a 1951 penny with all or most of these features: a double die obverse, a prominent repunched mint mark, an off-center strike, die cracks, and perhaps even a composition anomaly. And you begin to understand why some examples of this coin have been valued not in the hundreds or thousands, but in the millions, pushing one specific specimen's estimated worth to a jaw-dropping $70.3 million, a figure based not just on the coin's physical attributes but also on its provenance, rarity, condition, and the fierce competition among elite collectors to own the rarest pieces of U.S. minting history. Condition also plays a massive role here. The higher the grade, the more pristine the coin, the more money it can fetch. Coins graded MS67 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC are nearly flawless and extremely rare, especially when combined with the kind of mint errors we've just discussed, and in the case of the most valuable known 1951 specimen, it is believed to be a near-perfect example with multiple errors, preserved in mint state for over 70 years, making it a one-of-a-kind item that collectors, museums, and investors dream of acquiring. The psychological and historical value further compounds its monetary worth. After all, holding such a coin is like holding a moment of American minting history frozen in time, and the idea that such a treasure might still be lying undiscovered in a coin jar or passed down unknowingly in a family heirloom adds to the mystique. The coin's fame and folklore continue to grow, with more and more collectors paying exorbitant sums just to acquire examples with partial errors. And as market demand grows while the number of surviving error coins remains static, or even declines due to damage, loss, or hoarding, the value of each high-grade, error-laden 1951 penny continues to rise dramatically, bringing us to the final piece of the puzzle. Why would anyone pay $70.3 million for a single-cent coin? And the answer lies in the perfect convergence of historical significance, extraordinary rarity, exceptional condition, and the deep emotional and financial investment of collectors who see such coins not just as currency, but as irreplaceable artifacts of history, beauty, and human error in a world where collectibles have become a booming asset class and the ultra-wealthy are constantly seeking the rarest of the rare to own, showcase, and preserve. A coin like the 1951 wheat penny with multiple verifiable errors becomes more than a penny, it becomes a status symbol, a trophy of perfection through imperfection, and a testament to the timeless allure of numismatics. So the next time you come across a humble-looking wheat penny from 1951 with an S below the date, don't overlook it, study it, examine it, and consider getting it professionally appraised, because just maybe, you're holding a multi-million-dollar treasure in the palm of your hand, and if your coin happens to possess that magical combination of minting anomalies, who knows, you could be the next headline in the numismatic world, telling your story of a $70.3 million discovery that started with just a single cent. Today, we dive deep into a coin that may seem small in your hand but holds a story and value far greater than most people could ever imagine. The 1947 wheat penny from the United States of America, a seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin that has astounded collectors, historians, and numismatic enthusiasts worldwide with its incredible valuation of up to $54.9 million. A figure that is mind-boggling considering its humble origins and face value of just 1 cent. The journey of this tiny copper treasure from the minting presses of post-war America to the center of global attention is riddled with intriguing errors, minting anomalies, historical significance, and collector enthusiasm that all converge to create a perfect storm of rarity, demand, and extraordinary financial worth. So sit back and immerse yourself in the story of one of the most intriguing coins in U.S. history. Minted during a time when the world was transitioning from war to peace, industry was booming, and the American economy was finding its new post-war rhythm, and yet, in the middle of this era of change, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia, and to a smaller extent in Denver and San Francisco, produced the 1947 Lincoln Wheat Cent, part of a series that ran from 1909 to 1958, bearing the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing national prosperity. But among the millions minted that year, a few coins emerged with peculiarities so rare and so unique that they have become the holy grail for collectors, anomalies that escape even the most rigid quality controls at the U.S. Mint, such as double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, planchet errors, lamination defects, transitional metals, and other minting mistakes that transform a basic copper coin into a $1 million marvel. Beginning with the most well-known and highly sought-after error associated with the 1947 wheat penny, the double die obverse, in which the image of Lincoln, the date, and the mottos on the coin appear to have been struck twice due to misalignment in the die creation process, resulting in a ghost-like duplication that is especially noticeable around the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date, 1947. A type of error that is not just rare but dramatically increases the visual appeal and collector value of the coin, especially when in pristine uncirculated condition, with some specimens of the 1947 DDO, double die obverse, variety being auctioned off for hundreds of thousands of dollars alone, but when combined with other errors or mint mark peculiarities, the value can skyrocket into the millions, especially if the coin has an unusual composition or was struck on a planchet intended for another denomination, such as a silver dime or steel cent. Something that occasionally happened during transitional years when the mint was switching materials and old blanks were mistakenly used, making the possibility of a 1947 wheat penny struck on a leftover World War II steel planchet not just a fascinating thought experiment but a documented reality in rare cases, and this rare anomaly, when confirmed through metallurgical analysis, makes such a coin almost priceless to the right collector, especially if certified by leading authorities like PCGS or NGC, who verify authenticity and grade the coin's condition on a scale of 1 to 70. With coins graded MS65 or higher, mint state, commanding extreme premiums due to their impeccable condition and sharp detail, now imagine coupling this with a repunched mint mark, RPM, where the small letter indicating the minting facility, be it D for Denver or S for San Francisco, is struck more than once in a slightly different location, creating a shadow effect that again stems from manual die creation errors common in mid-20th century minting practices. And though these errors were unintended, they now add layers of complexity and value to the coin, especially when these are combined with other rarities such as off-center strikes, where the design is misaligned on the coin, showing blank areas or crescent shapes that disrupt the typical round design and thus increase the visual intrigue and scarcity of the piece. And collectors deeply value such coins for their deviation from the norm, especially if the off-center strike is significant yet does not remove key identifying features such as the date or mint mark, allowing for proper attribution and authentication. And then we move to the possibility of lamination errors, where impurities in the metal or issues during the annealing process cause parts of the coin's surface to peel or flake off, revealing underlying textures and layers that create a jagged, almost three-dimensional quality to the coin's design. And while some might view this as a defect, seasoned collectors understand that mint-induced errors like these are anything but flaws. They are historical markers, frozen moments in time that tell the story of a coin's chaotic birth, and each of these characteristics alone can contribute to significant increases in a coin's value. But when multiple errors are found on a single 1947 wheat penny, say, a double die with an off-center strike and a lamination issue, the compound rarity becomes exponential, pushing its worth into the realm of millions, and of course, provenance plays a role. Where a coin's ownership history, its grading certification, and auction background can boost its prestige and perceived value in the eyes of elite collectors and institutions. And speaking of perception, the numismatic market itself is a fascinating blend of economics, psychology, and passion, where perceived rarity, historical significance, and aesthetic appeal drive fierce bidding wars and private sales that reach staggering amounts, and so it is with the rarest known 1947 wheat penny specimens, especially those that surfaced in prestigious auctions such as heritage auctions or stacks Bowers, where high net worth individuals, museums, and private investors compete to own a piece of numismatic history. And as more collectors and investors begin to realize the finite nature of such rare coins, especially those with verified minting anomalies, the demand continues to climb, creating a feedback loop where scarcity begets desire and desire begets astronomical value, which explains how a single penny, once used to buy a stick of gum or a newspaper, can now be valued at over $54.9 million, a figure bolstered by a perfect storm of rare errors, perfect preservation, minting oddities, collector frenzy, and historical nostalgia. And let us not forget the emotional and patriotic connection many Americans feel toward the wheat penny series, which began in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person rather than symbolic figures like Lady Liberty, embedding within it a deep sense of national pride. And thus, coins Like the 1947 wheat penny, become more than just currency. They become cultural artifacts, objects of reverence, physical links to a different era in American history. When the country was rebuilding, veterans were returning home, the economy was shifting to peacetime production, and the Lincoln wheat penny sat quietly in pockets, registers, and jars across the nation, waiting for its story to be discovered decades later. And as technology advances, allowing for greater analysis and authentication methods, previously unnoticed errors are coming to light, and coins once dismissed as common are being reevaluated and sometimes reclassified, further fueling the excitement and treasure hunting aspect of numismatics, where every old coin in your drawer or piggy bank could potentially be the next multimillion-dollar discovery. And so, as you examine your own collection or perhaps begin one inspired by this incredible story, remember that the 1947 wheat penny, especially those bearing combinations of errors such as double die obverse, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, transitional planchets, or lamination errors, can be worth far more than its tiny size suggests, standing as a testament to the wonders of minting history, the unpredictability of error, and the immense passion of collectors who see not just metal, but meaning in these miniature masterpieces of American heritage. And while not every 1947 wheat penny is worth millions, the possibility that one of them might be, that the next rare era variety could be sitting unrecognized in a jar or collection box somewhere, is what keeps the fire of coin collecting alive, vibrant, and thrilling for generations to come. So keep your eyes open, your magnifying glass ready, and your curiosity sharp, because the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and just like the remarkable story of the 1947 wheat penny, your next find might just change your life. Today's video, we're diving deep into one of the most talked about and mysterious coins ever to capture the attention of collectors and numismatics enthusiasts alike, the 1956 wheat penny. A coin that originally had a face value of just 1 cent but has stunned the coin collecting world with its jaw-dropping estimated value of $56.9 million due to a combination of rare minting errors, historical context, and unique features that make it a true numismatic treasure. And as we journey through the backstory of this extraordinary coin, you'll discover how this humble penny rose far above its humble denomination through a fascinating intersection of U.S. mint mistakes, die varieties, doubling anomalies, and misaligned mint mark placements that make it not only a collector's dream but also a potential world record holder in terms of rarity and market worth. Starting first with the coin's origin in 1956, during a time when the United States Mint was producing large quantities of wheat cents out of the Denver Mint, with the D mint mark signifying its place of origin. And while most 1956 pennies are relatively common and easy to find, numbering in the hundreds of millions, what sets this particular variation apart is the extremely rare set of errors and variations that occurred during its striking process, which led to the birth of a very small number of highly prized specimens that include features like a double die obverse, where key details such as the date, the word liberty, and the phrase "In God We Trust" show signs of noticeable doubling under magnification, suggesting a misalignment between the die and the coin blank during the minting process, a phenomenon that is already rare but becomes astronomically significant when combined with additional errors such as repunched mint marks or RPMs, where the D mint mark appears to have been punched more than once, sometimes overlapping or offset, indicating a secondary manual adjustment during the minting process at a time when quality control measures were not as automated or precise as they are today. And then there are examples of coins with off-center strikes, where the imprint of the design does not align correctly with the coin's rim, creating an uneven margin that sharply distinguishes these coins from their correctly minted counterparts and further elevates their value in the eyes of serious collectors who understand the importance of error combinations in assigning value. And in some rare instances, the coin's surface may show lamination errors or planchet flaws, such as peeling metal or striations across the coin, which result from imperfections in the copper alloy used during production. And these types of metal composition flaws can serve as early indicators of internal minting issues, adding yet another layer of intrigue to the coin's story, especially when the presence of such physical inconsistencies coincides with other anomalies like die cracks, cuds, raised portions, where a part of the die broke off, or even broad strikes, all of which dramatically increase a coin's uniqueness. But perhaps one of the most astonishing aspects of the $56.9 million valuation attached to this penny comes from the scarcity and mystery surrounding how many such error-laden coins actually made it out of the mint and into circulation before the errors were detected and corrected. And with some numismatists estimating that fewer than 10 such coins exist in pristine condition, and possibly even fewer that possess the full combination of all the most valuable minting anomalies, these coins represent the epitome of rarity, a concept central to coin valuation, and when rarity intersects with historical context, like the post-war economic boom of the 1950s, a time when coin collecting was gaining popularity but before the widespread use of mass grading services, the provenance and condition of such coins become even more vital to their valuation. And speaking of condition, the few 1956 Dewey pennies that have surfaced at high-end auctions in near-perfect mint-state condition, particularly those graded MS-67 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS) or the Numismatic Guarantee Company (NGC), have fetched staggering prices, especially when they also exhibit full red luster, meaning the coin retains its original copper color without the dulling effects of oxidation, which is extremely rare for coins that are over 60 years old, and this perfect storm of minting errors, limited surviving specimens, high-grade condition, and strong collector demand has culminated in the creation of a mythos around this specific version of the 1950-60 penny, prompting rumors and investigations into previously unknown varieties that are still being discovered in pocket change, estate collections, and even family heirlooms, fueling ongoing excitement in the numismatic community as collectors and enthusiasts scour their collections in hopes of finding a coin with the perfect combination of doubling, misaligned mint mark, planchet flaws, and pristine condition. And what makes this story even more fascinating is how such coins come to light, with some being discovered purely by accident, found in old jars, antique desks, or forgotten albums where they've sat unnoticed for decades, only to be rediscovered and authenticated to reveal a value far exceeding the dreams of the original holder. And it's worth noting that the $56.9 million valuation is not just a speculative figure. It is supported by the convergence of several real-world pricing trends, high-stakes private auctions, and institutional interest from investors and museums, who see such coins as not only rare artifacts but also tangible assets that tell the story of America's economic, political, and technological evolution through the lens of something as seemingly simple as a penny. And to understand just how a coin like this can command such a value, one must delve into the world of specialized collectors who focus on Lincoln Wheat Cents, a series that ran from 1909 to 1958 and includes some of the most iconic and valuable era coins in U.S. history, such as the 1955 double die, the 1943 copper penny, and the 1909 SVDD, all of which laid the foundation for understanding the importance of minute variations and how they can drastically alter a coin's market worth. And in the case of the 1950-60 penny, its unique blend of errors has sparked considerable academic interest and debate, leading to multiple numismatic publications dedicating entire articles and research papers to dissecting the exact sequence of events that could have led to such a perfect storm of anomalies, from machine misalignments and die deterioration to possible transitional planchets being used in error. And some have even speculated that experimental strikes or test runs may have accidentally been released into circulation, adding a layer of mystery that collectors and historians find irresistible. And with the rise of online platforms and digital marketplaces, awareness of such rare coins has expanded globally, resulting in competitive bidding wars between elite collectors and institutions who understand that owning a coin like the rare 1950-60 wheat penny isn't just about its metal content but about its historical narrative, its survival against the odds, and the emotions and intrigue it invokes among those who appreciate the complex, detailed world of coin production and the serendipitous beauty of imperfection. And as the years go on, the legend of this coin only grows, with prices predicted to continue climbing as fewer specimens surface and the mystique surrounding its origin deepens. And while the average person may look at a penny as pocket change, those who know the story behind the 1950-60 era coin understand that sometimes the smallest objects can hold the greatest value, both in terms of money and meaning. And as more collectors become educated about what to look for, like doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, and mint mark misplacements, there's a growing hope that more of these rare pennies will be found, authenticated, and preserved for future generations to marvel at, ensuring that the legacy of the 1950-60 wheat penny lives on not only as a physical artifact but also as a symbol of how something once so ordinary can become one of the most extraordinary treasures in the world of numismatics. The world of rare and extraordinary coins, where a simple-looking penny can be worth a staggering fortune. Today we delve into the captivating and mystifying story of the 1959 D-Wheat penny from the United States, a coin that has stunned collectors, historians, and numismatic experts across the globe with its rare features, historical oddities, minting anomalies, and the sheer mystery that surrounds its existence, making it worth an astonishing $32.9 million, an amount that defies imagination. When compared to its humble face value of just 1 cent, and in this comprehensive video, we're going to take a deep dive into every detail, nuance, and possibility that elevates this coin far beyond its everyday counterparts and into the exclusive realm of the ultra-rare, ultra-valuable, and undeniably intriguing. Beginning with a brief contextual background to understand why a 1959 D coin bearing the design of the wheat reverse is an error of monumental proportions, because as many numismatists and coin collectors know, the official design transition occurred in 1959 when the Lincoln Memorial reverse replaced the classic wheat ears design which had been in use since 1909 to mark the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and the Denver Mint, marked with the D mint mark on this particular penny, was one of the primary facilities producing these coins, making billions of pennies annually, but never officially releasing any 1959 wheat reverse cents, which means that any 1959 penny with the wheat ears design instead of the Lincoln Memorial reverse is in itself a mystery, an anomaly that defies the official records of the United States Mint, and herein lies the crux of the value of the 1959 D wheat penny. Its very existence challenges the accepted chronology of coin design evolution and suggests either an accidental striking, an unauthorized minting, or a test strike that somehow made its way out of the mint's tightly controlled environment. And while the general public may overlook such details, seasoned numismatists understand the gravity of such a discovery, especially considering that the U.S. Mint's processes and controls were becoming increasingly modern and secure by the late 1950s, which makes the possibility of such a glaring anomaly even more intriguing and valuable, and there have been reports and claims about only a handful of these coins existing, with only one verified 1959 D wheat penny known to the numismatic community as of now, making it one of the rarest coins ever documented, and that sole coin has gone through extensive examination, verification, and debate among experts, some initially doubting its authenticity but later confirming through metallurgical analysis, die inspection, and advanced forensic techniques that it is not an altered or counterfeit piece, but a genuine minting from 1959 bearing the wheat design that had officially been retired, which raises several mind-boggling questions. How did this coin come to be? Was it struck as a die test? Was it a rogue mint employee creating a collectible error? Or was it simply a mechanical or oversight error in die setup at the Denver Mint that led to a few coins being struck with the obsolete reverse design? And these theories remain at the heart of the mystery because the U.S. Mint has never officially confirmed the existence of any 1959 D wheat penny. Nor has it acknowledged producing one intentionally, which fuels the aura of this coin even further and pushes its value into stratospheric territory for collectors who value both rarity and the story behind the coin, because let's be honest, any coin worth millions of dollars is not just about metal content, it's about the legend, the backstory, the human error, the institutional secrecy, and the sheer improbability of its existence. And when a coin contradicts the historical timeline, as the 1959 D wheat penny does, it becomes a relic of an alternate possibility, a piece of history that shouldn't exist, but does, and its value is magnified by this contradiction. And as collectors clamor to get their hands on even a photograph of this coin, the coin market reacts with intense fascination, speculation, and awe, with private collectors offering astronomical sums and museums seeking to display such an item not just for its monetary worth but as a testament to human curiosity, institutional oversight, and the enduring fascination with coinage. And over the years this particular coin has been rumored to have changed hands in secretive, high-value private sales, with prices speculated as high as $32.9 million depending on the buyer's passion, the story accompanying the coin, and the condition or grade assigned to it, because even within the realm of error coins, condition remains a critical determinant of value, and if the coin exhibits features like strong strike, minimal wear, attractive patina, and clear die features, its valuation climbs even higher, and in the case of the 1959 D wheat penny, every detail, from the clarity of Lincoln's portrait to the sharpness of the wheat stalks, has been pored over by experts seeking confirmation of its origin, and the die characteristics also suggest that it was struck using genuine dies, not fakes or reproductions, lending credibility to the theory that the coin is a product of the mint itself, whether intentionally or not. And some theories even suggest the possibility of pattern coins, which are trial coins produced in small numbers for internal review before a final design is adopted. But in this case, it makes little sense because the wheat design was being phased out, not tested for adoption, which adds to the confusion and the excitement around this enigmatic penny, and the coin's fame was further cemented when it appeared in numismatic publications and sparked fierce debates, drawing interest from journalists, collectors, and even government officials intrigued by how such an anomaly escaped the rigorous quality control and documentation of the Denver Mint in 1959, and while only one verified example exists, there's always the thrilling possibility that others may be hiding in plain sight, tucked away in jars, drawers, or old coin collections, their owners unaware that they hold a multimillion-dollar treasure, and that possibility keeps collectors on edge, checking their 1959 D pennies with bated breath, magnifying glasses, and endless hope, and the sheer emotional thrill of potentially discovering one of the rarest coins ever minted is part of what makes numismatics such a beloved and enduring hobby, where history, mystery, and wealth collide in tiny circular objects, and we cannot understate the role that mint mark anomalies play in this saga, because had this been a 1959 wheat penny without the D, it might still have raised questions but not as dramatically, since the Denver Mint was not expected to produce wheat reverse coins at all in that year, making the D mint mark a glaring contradiction to the official mint records and cementing this coin's status as a genuine minting mistake or an unsanctioned production, both of which are equally intriguing and valuable scenarios. And such errors, known as transitional errors, occur when old and new designs overlap during changeover periods, and while many known examples exist in U.S. coinage, like the 1943 copper cent or the 1974 aluminum cent, the 1959 D wheat penny holds a unique position due to its connection to an obsolete design struck after its official termination, not before or during a known transition period, and this is what makes it not just rare but a singularly unique coin, and numismatic institutions, grading agencies, and private experts continue to debate whether additional specimens exist or if this was truly a one-off error, which only adds more fuel to its legend and inflates its perceived market value. Because in the world of collectibles, perception and narrative often carry as much weight as the physical object itself, and when a coin is backed by both, it becomes a crown jewel in any collection, a coin that transcends time, policy, and even official denial to assert its mysterious existence. And when you factor in the potential for future discoveries, increased public awareness, an escalating demand from ultra-wealthy collectors who see such coins not just as investments but as symbols of exclusivity and prestige, the valuation of $32.9 million no longer seems outlandish but rather fitting for a coin of such immense numismatic significance and mythical allure, and we invite you to imagine the thrill of being the one to discover the next 1959 D wheat penny. Perhaps it's hidden in your grandparents' coin jar, perhaps it sits forgotten in an old drawer, waiting for the day someone with a keen eye and love for history uncovers its true identity and unlocks the life-changing value it represents. And so as this remarkable story unfolds, the 1959 D wheat penny remains a numismatic enigma, a historical anomaly, and a legendary treasure that challenges our understanding of minting history and stands as a testament to the enduring mystery and magic of rare coins.